The face of hate. A white supremacist allegedly out to kill Jews surrenders to face charges in the shooting rampage at a Jewish community center in California. We'll look at the spread in America of this potentially deadly cancer called hate and who's behind it. And it came without warning. A killer tornado plows through the heart of Salt Lake City.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The FBI has its man tonight and his possible motive. He surrendered less than 24 hours after a shooting rampage in California. Here's the latest. Buford Furrow is the accused. He has deep connections to hate groups in the Pacific Northwest. A rapid-fire weapon was apparently used to spray more than 70 bullets into the lobby of the Los Angeles County Jewish Community Center. Besides wounding several very young children, he may also have killed a postal worker near the community center. CBS's Sandra Hughes begins tonight's coverage.
As the SWAT team swooped down on a local hotel just miles from the shooting scene, their suspect was already gone. Police thought 37-year-old Buford Furrow was holed up inside the Seven Crowns Hotel after finding a car they say he carjacked parked outside.
It appears that the suspect left the Los Angeles area via taxi cab that took him to the area of the California-Nevada border. At that time, he traveled via a second cab to the Las Vegas office of the FBI.
Then he turned himself in with a simple explanation that he was the one who killed those kids in Los Angeles. Reportedly, he told the FBI that he wanted this to be, quote, a wake-up call to America to kill Jews.
Nobody intimidates me, and nobody intimidates the Jewish community.
That was a reaction from the Jewish Community Center to Furrow's anti-Semitic comments as it tried to return to normal life. But some parents were still concerned about the terror their children witnessed just yesterday.
I was scared last night because I thought he was in my house, and I got scared. I thought he was going to shoot me.
Trying to erase the physical reminders of hate, a parade of repairmen arrived at the community center today to start what appears to be a huge job.
The lobby is pocked by bullet holes. I think it's been reported that there are between 70 and 80.
The 5 victims, who were all gunned down in the lobby, are expected to survive. The most seriously injured, a 5-year-old boy, lost about half his blood supply and almost died.
We are very hopeful, but absolutely not out of the woods.
This counselor at the community center helped that child.
He came out, he was really cooperative. I told him to breathe, and he was breathing deeply, and he was very calm.
It's now believed that Furrow's shooting spree didn't end at the Jewish Community Center. Nearby, a postal worker was found shot to death. CBS News has learned Furrow will face federal charges for that murder. Now, Furrow will also face 5 counts of attempted murder and either state or federal hate crime charges. U.S. Customs will provide a Black Hawk helicopter to bring Furrow back to Los Angeles, possibly tomorrow. Dan?
Sandra Hughes, thanks. What motivated such hateful thought and violent action? What were this man's connections and contacts? We asked CBS's Vince Gonzalez to look into the life of Buford Furrow before his violent burst onto the national scene.
In the van he abandoned not far from the site of yesterday's shootings, suspected gunman Buford Furrow left clues that may show years of hate pushed him to violence. Besides the boxes of ammunition and the survival gear, there was a book in the van written by a leader of the racist Christian identity movement. That same author wrote what has become the hate handbook for violent anti-Semitic zealots called the Phineas Priests.
He was motivated by Christian identity, which calls for the elimination of Jews.
Furrow may have first come in contact with Christian identity groups as a member of the neo-Nazi Aryan Nations. Seen here wearing one of their uniforms, he was reportedly a lieutenant in that group's security force at this 1995 rally. Furrow also has a connection to one of the most violent hate groups called the Order. He recently lived with the widow of that group's founder, Robert Matthews. Matthews was killed in a shootout with federal agents in 1984. A former neo-Nazi remembers seeing Furrow teach hand-to-hand combat at a recruiting rally marking Hitler's birthday in 1996.
Basically, what his specialty was, he was training people on knives.
These are often individuals who are sociopathic, but who are pulled into the groups because the groups speak so violently and offer them a moral justification for the murders that they really want to commit.
Last year, Furrow reportedly tried to commit himself to this psychiatric hospital, but ended up spending time in jail after pulling a knife on the hospital staff. And more than 6 months before the shooting spree in California, Furrow gave a chilling warning. He told a sheriff's deputy, "Sometimes I feel like I could just lose it and kill people." Vince Gonzalez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
As Vince Gonzalez mentioned, the hate agenda of the hate group calling itself the Phineas Priest movement may have influenced Buford Furrow. It appears that it did. Walter Thote is now serving 39 years in an Atlanta prison for 2 armed robberies designed to bankroll the Phineas Priest agenda. I spoke with Thote in prison 3 years ago. His views offer chilling insight into the kind of American rampage of hate that took place in California.
We are at war.
Phineas priests see themselves as, quote, armed Christian soldiers. Do you consider this, or do you not consider it, a religious war that you're waging?
Yes, it is a religious war in the sense of it being something based on moral values which are themselves based in Scripture.
And he says that despite their self-described moral values, they are more than capable and often willing to assassinate their enemies. Assassination is murder.
Not in case of warfare, it's not. We send our men out to war all the time and tell them to kill the enemy.
Against whom is this war being waged?
Our government is under the control of an elite group behind the scenes. If you examine the record of who are the people that are behind this, that you'll find that a very large percentage of them, I would say roughly 90% to 95%, are Jews.
And from Furrow's statements today, the hatred of Jews could prove to be the connection between the Phineas priests and the shooting at the Jewish Community Center in Los Angeles. The shocking belief Thote holds is that Jews, as he reads Scripture, are from the house of the devil.
They are not the people they claim to be. They claim to be descendants of Israel. They are not. They're liars. And I call them liars blatantly because they are. Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 refers to them as the synagogue of Satan.
Please note, while Walter Thote's views may have fueled and influenced Buford Furrow in some way, based on the books found in Furrow's van, there is no evidence that the two ever met. The attack in Los Angeles is the latest sign of a disturbing change in the face of hate crime in this country. CBS's Bob McNamara reports responsibility appears to be shifting from organized hate mongers to individuals, while possibly connected to groups mostly acting on their own.
Fear brought tightened security and bolted doors to synagogues, schools, and Jewish community centers from coast to coast today.
Whether it's the person was aiming at Jews or not, it's just scary.
If hate really was at the heart of the attack on the Jewish community center here, then experts tracking hate crimes say a dangerous and deadly turn has been taken. That loners harboring the hates of organized groups have struck out on terror campaigns of their own.
Loners don't share their agenda. They're not going to tell anyone what they intend to do. And when they keep that secret to themselves, they often, therefore, everybody wakes up to the news.
That was the case with a racial killing spree in the Midwest last month, where blacks and Asians were shot by white supremacist Benjamin Smith before he took his own life. And in California, where the burning of 3 Sacramento synagogues and the murder of a gay couple brought the arrest of white supremacist brothers Benjamin and James Williams.
These are people that are involved, or who consider themselves to be involved in a war with this country.
It is a faceless war waged on the internet, on more than 1,200 so-called hate sites, which some believe could spawn a sick search for attention by more lone gunmen.
The reason they do it is for their moment of glory, where they feel that the whole world is stopping to take notice of them. And in their warped minds, it's worth it.
Who needs them? Don't like them. Can't stand them.
In an exhibit called The Other America at the Simon Wiesenthal Center of Los Angeles today, Visitors were struck by a map of this country's growing number of known hate groups.
It's just totally unacceptable and very shocking.
Tonight, even with the prime suspect behind bars, there's a sense across the country a new kind of battle is beginning, where even tiny children have become targets. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Los Angeles.
In Conyers, Georgia, a judge ruled today that 15-year-old T.J. Solomon will be tried as an adult for the shooting of 6 high school classmates in May. That means Solomon could get more than 300 years in prison if convicted. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, an unusual tornado strikes downtown Salt Lake City. What the drought may mean to you if you have allergies. And I'll take you inside Colombia and the American-aided semi-secret war against revolutionary narco-guerrillas.
When you were a kid, did you carry a lunchbox? Who was on it? Was it Sir Isaac Newton? Was it Abraham Lincoln? Or was it the A-Team? Introducing the new, redesigned 2000 Mitsubishi Montero Sport. We pity the fool who'd drive anything else.
Now you can save money anytime you make a phone call. Save on weekends, weekdays, holidays, mornings, evenings. Save on every single call. And you don't have to dial 1010 anything. You just have to call Office Depot.
Yeah, and I need a 3-hole paper punch. Yeah.
Call 1-888-GO-DEPOT for a free catalog. Office Depot. Low prices every day.
What should you do if you're having a heart attack? First, call an ambulance, then take Bayer aspirin. Now Bayer may help stop you from dying when taken during a heart attack. Talk to your doctor now. Bayer, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
This is how the world feels when you have dry eyes. But now there's new Visine Tears with a unique tears formula not found in other leading brands to make dry, scratchy eyes feel moist and comfortable. Visine Tears, it gets the dry out.
On the CBS Weather Watch tonight, a deadly bolt from the blue in Utah. As CBS's Jim Axelrod reports, a sudden tornado cell system, unusual for that part of the country, slammed into Salt Lake City and touched down without warning.
It came out of nowhere, a swirling black cloud of transformer exploding, window smashing, metal twisting violence. Listen to the panic in this local reporter's voice.
Oh my God! It's right across the street. I can't breathe!
It wasn't the size of the twister, seen here in a time-lapse sequence, that made it a killer, but where and when it hit, downtown Salt Lake City, during the middle of lunch hour.
Really fast, and there was like no time to do anything.
No, let's go! We got hurt people coming through! Let's go!
At least one is dead, and dozens are hurt. Maybe as many as 100.
Watch out, guys! Watch out!
Saw a tornado hit the Delta Center, blow the roof off the Delta Center. As we got to the corner, it knocked us on our butts.
Among the worst hit places, the Salt Palace Convention Center, full of conventioneers and trade show exhibitors.
We were right in the center of that thing. It came right on top of us.
Apparently now we have some home video of the tornado area.
Utah usually gets 2 tornadoes a year, but Salt Lake hadn't seen one like this in decades.
Explosion, like a big bomb.
There is blood on the streets of Salt Lake City tonight. The twisters move through. The shock is just settling in. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, Dallas.
The National Weather Service predicted today that the drought in the American Northeast will last into winter, get worse in the southeast, and improve in the west. Today, part of New Mexico was declared a drought disaster area. In the Northeast, all of Connecticut and more of Maryland, New York, and Virginia were added to the emergency list for farm aid. In the sky, the angle, time, and weather marred the view from North America. But from Europe to Asia, millions saw it. The sun wore only basic black with a diamond necklace. The century's final total eclipse of the sun. The Pope in Rome cut short his morning audience so he and others could watch the heavenly show. They watched from Jerusalem's Wailing Wall and the pyramids of Egypt. Even zoo animals in Belgrade got to see it. So mark your calendar, the next full solar eclipse visible here in the U.S., the year 2017. When we come back here on CBS, federal convicts in prison taking care of business with their fingertips.
So, how you doing?
Oh, miserable.
What?
Breakfast time, we sit around while folks pop something sweet from the toaster.
Oh, yeah.
What's not to love? Real eggs.
Hey, bacon.
And cheese. Say, what if somebody wrapped us up in a pastry crust and popped us up?
Pillsbury Toaster Scrambles. Real eggs, smoky bacon, creamy cheese in a flaky pastry crust right in your grocer's freezer. Mmm. Pillsbury Toaster Scrambles.
Look out, sweet stuff.
Have you tried these yet? Specialized blends from one a day. Not just herbs. Herbs, vitamins, and minerals for things like memory. Have you seen my keys? Where are the keys? 83. And energy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Even tension and mood. Help your body help itself with one-a-day specialized blends. They're just what you need to feel your best.
Opening arguments start at 9:30 whether this arthritis pain goes away or not. So I took Advil liquid gels. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain. They're the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Advil liquid gels. Stronger than pain.
We're gonna change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
Great meal. Uh-oh, gas pressure. What now? What else? Gas X, with the most powerful medicine for fast relief. Nothing works faster.
Hey, want to go for ice cream?
Gas X, the power to fight gas fast.
The U.S. government today ordered insulation replaced in 699 McDonnell Douglas airliners to reduce fire risk. The FAA says the insulation failed a new test after last year's Swiss Air crash. The FAA first proposed replacing insulation on nearly all U.S. airliners, but now says most existing insulation would pass the test. There's growing evidence tonight that being behind bars is no bar to criminals doing business as usual by phone. CBS's Jim Stewart obtained a new government report that's no ringing endorsement of federal prison phone use policy.
Every year, federal inmates make more than 55 million phone calls to the outside. That some may be doing more than saying hello to mom doesn't shock federal prosecutors, but that a few like drug kingpin Anthony Jones would actually phone in a contract murder did surprise them. Jones spoke in code, but prosecutors cracked it. Jones actually said, "I want him to go. You know what I'm saying? That John's got to get whacked tonight." And 2 weeks later, John, one of Jones's lieutenants in his old Baltimore neighborhood, was murdered. The Jones case is one of several cited in a Justice Department report due out as early as Thursday that found many federal inmates keep right on orchestrating crimes even while behind bars. Some, like Jones, spent virtually all day on the phone.
When that phone call was placed, he was in a low security institution without any serious controls on his movement or his communications.
That was also the case with William Lilly, who became known as King of Telephones after authorities suspect he rebuilt his real estate empire from behind bars. The FBI estimates he made nearly 10,000 calls in one 10-month period.
It seems almost like like giving a bank robber a furlough and a gun and directions to a bank.
And at first, federal authorities thought allowing phone privileges was a good idea. It helped maintain family ties, and occasionally lawmen picked up tips from listening in. But that was before the federal prison population explosion. There are now more than 150,000 federal inmates making telephone calls every day, and for the moment at least, not enough technology to keep track of it all. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, news that could take the wheeze and sneeze out of allergy season.
Every kid knows if you want to make the big leagues, you better eat your Wheaties.
And every dad should know whole grain Wheaties may help prevent cancer. Numerous studies confirm a low-fat diet rich in whole grain foods like Wheaties may reduce the risk of certain cancers. So when he does make the big leagues, you'll be in the front row. 100% whole grain Wheaties, a champion in the fight against cancer.
My dentures always fit fine. I never thought of them as a problem until I saw the video of my son's wedding. It was then that I decided to try Fixodent.
Because Fixodent adjusts to the unique contours of your dentures and gums, forming a thin, powerful seal for a better hold than you ever thought possible.
It was like a whole new feeling, so snug and secure. For once, I actually forgot that I even wore dentures. So now, I like what I see.
Find out for yourself what it feels like to Fixodent and forget it.
It's here. The GMC Summer Convoy. 2 million tons of professional-grade trucks, designed better than they need to be. Pickups, SUVs, and family vans. And on select 1999 models, some of the best values of the year. So come in now. This is one convoy you don't want passing you by. The GMC Summer Convoy.
Why wait till you get a blister to do something about it? Blister-proof your feet with Band-Aid brand blister block cushions. They hug your foot like a second skin, stopping blisters before they stop you. Band-Aid brand blister block cushions.
When pain shakes your world, it's time for Bengay SPA with site-penetrating action. It targets relief at the site of pain and it has a light, fresh scent. Bengay SPA. It feels like a whole new day.
In the most sweeping move of its kind, the state of Kansas Board of Education has adopted new standards that eliminate evolution as a scientific principle. Individual schools may still choose to teach evolution, but in a victory for self-described religious conservatives, knowledge of evolution will not be required to pass state of Kansas tests. There's news tonight from millions of Americans, up to 20% of our population, who have hay fever and other allergies. As CBS's Elizabeth Caledon reports, both the drought and a new drug treatment could make a big difference.
There's no relief in sight for parched lawns and thirsty plants, but the nation's drought is providing an unexpected benefit to allergy sufferers, people like Lio Sammy, who gets a hay fever shot every week.
Have you ever tried to sleep and somebody just squeeze your nose and you can't breathe? It's something like that.
Because the dying trees and grass are not making as much pollen, the fall allergy season is expected to come weeks earlier and be briefer. At the same time, new research shows that allergy shots may be more effective than previously thought. A study in the New England Journal of Medicine finds that people who got shots of grass pollen for 3 years remained allergy-free at least 3 years after treatment stopped.
The benefits from this treatment persist for a long period of time after the treatment is discontinued. That suggests that this form of treatment can somehow change the natural history of the disease in a way that may be permanent.
Allergy shots have been used for decades to relieve chronic symptoms.
And how are you feeling? How are your allergy symptoms doing? Much better.
But they require a heavy schedule of doctor's visits. Many people opt to take other drugs instead. Now, doctors like Elizabeth Jacobson say she'll be more likely to recommend short-term pain for long-term gain.
A person with severe allergies may decide to undergo the discomfort of scheduling for a few years if it means that they'll feel relief for several years afterwards.
And maybe even longer. Doctors predict the discovery that allergies can be stopped for years has the potential to lead to the ultimate allergy shot, a cure. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
In a moment, I'll be back to take you inside Colombia, where a besieged government and increasingly the United States, CIA, DEA, and military are waging a little-known but widening war. It's a war to stamp out a combined army of revolutionary guerrillas and drug traffickers who in Colombia are often one and the same. From Colombia, when we come back.
There's nothing like the way I feel after a good night's sleep. That's why I love my Tylenol PM. For me, there's just no reason to have trouble sleeping. I take Tylenol PM before bed. It stops my pain and helps me sleep. So I'm ready for another great day.
It's barbecue season, the busiest time of the year for your deck.
which is why you should protect it with Thompson's Wood Protector. Nothing we make works harder, longer. For rain, sun, mildew, or low-flying meat, Thompson's Wood Protector, it never takes a day off.
Is it the thick, rich chocolate flavor? Is it the soft, luscious cherry flavor? Or the way it yields to the gentlest bite? Or is it the fact that 500 milligrams of bone-strengthening calcium doesn't come in a big, honking horse pill? Calburst from Nature Made. Have some pleasure with your calcium.
Nancy will have to see from near to far almost 1,000 times today. Her eyes will focus on 40 labels, 60 charts, and 100 smiles. And in all that time, she'll never once think about the science that allows her to focus instantly at all distances. Nancy just knows that her Verilux lenses help her see better. And for her, that's a very comforting thought. Verilux, the comfort of better vision. For more information, call toll-free 1-800-VERILUX.
Staples presents the Staples Coach of the Week program. It's our salute to leaders on the field and in the classroom. And it's your chance to win $5,000 in school supplies for your school, plus a visit from your local NFL head coach. To enter, visit a Staples near you. Register at www.staples.com or send your entry to Staples Coach of the Week. Watch NFL Today Sundays on CBS for winners.
I'm in Colombia and have been for a few days to check around on the situation here. A situation that has changed considerably from earlier in the 1990s. We have now narcotics traffickers, and hard to distinguish them from guerrillas, people with ideological and political agendas, and a lot of overlap. It's a very complicated situation, which is why I came down to have a look. Very rapidly in recent weeks, the following things have happened to, it appears suddenly, put Colombia very much on Washington's radar screen. First, the crash of a U.S. military reconnaissance plane that killed 5 Americans on an anti-drug mission last month. 2 of the bodies were returned today. Then the sudden arrival of the Clinton administration's drug czar, Barry McCaffrey, who, in a reversal of policy, called for up to $1 billion to be spent fighting what he now calls narco-guerrillas.
There's been a doubling of coca production here in Colombia in the last 3 years. Massive threat, not only to Colombian interests, but to the United States.
The highest level talks in Bogota in a decade were held this week between U.S. and Colombian officials. That reflects general confidence in the new Colombian government, but also alarm over the fact that an estimated 40% of the country is already in rebel hands. That's one reason Barry McCaffrey is saying now, the drug czar, there's a crisis in Colombia, and one, he says, that could spread to surrounding countries. Ecuador, Peru, Brazil perhaps even, Venezuela, and Panama. A serious debate about all this has begun in Washington. It seems certain to soon become a national debate. Whether to get more involved, if so, how and when. CBS News will be covering this story for you from Colombia in the coming weeks and months. And that's part of our world tonight. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting from Mariquita, Colombia. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
The manhunt is over, but questions remain. How did Furrow escape detection? And who's watching America's hate groups? Details tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Who is Buford Furrow Jr.? His story tomorrow on This Morning. Experience CBS News.